Hey there, sexy people. Hope you're doing great. It is a beautiful Monday morning, afternoon actually now, and we have a green market. It finally shaped up after a couple of days of yellow, 3 days of yellow, and we are ready to rock and roll. So let's take a look at the trade monitor screen, and you can see I've got a MicroStrategy position. That's what we're talking about here. And MicroStrategy's up, I don't know, about 20 bucks or something right now. So you can see I own these 175 calls. I have 10 contracts. And against those, I have 10 contracts of the 307.50s. Well, obviously at 324, it's jumped up, a big amount over that dollar amount, right? It's gone up 20 bucks, and the calls have gone up $11, right? Let's look at the math here, and so you can see what's going on. So the 175 calls are worth 156,400, certainly down from where I got it, but this stock was at 477 when I started to buy it. 4 months ago, back on November 20th. And it's gone all the way down to like 210, right? And so I've been able to kind of stay in it to, for the last couple of months to make some money here and really not lose any money, which to me is a win. But you could see that the 307 calls are worth negative 21,950. Why is that? Well, I got $10,600 per contract, or $1,060. I got 10 contracts, so $10,600 total. And all of that was juice because they were out of the money. Well, now some of that has gone in the money. It's gone in the money by, almost 20 bucks, like $18. And so that works against me. Now, by the end of the week, I'm going to get all this juice because that was all juice at the time. And so this account should go up, all other things being equal, another $11,000. But if I had to liquidate the whole account today, that's the math I'm going to show you right now. So this is another one of those math videos that I'm doing. And so to make it easier for you and for me, I've taken the time to export all the trades into my spreadsheet, and I'll show you what that looks like right here. And so you can see up at the top, these are all of the base positions, right? So I ended up buying and selling these 250s, and I moved them closer in, and then I moved them down to the 175s. And now you can see I actually bought one more contract here at the beginning of March. And so I've got 10 contracts total, okay? And that put me into the base position cost of $286,795. It's not worth $287,695 anymore, or $795. But I've been collecting the juice since November 20th. And so that juice has kept me in the game. That's the beauty of this system, is that the juice keeps you in it, right? And now I'm waiting for the market to go green, which it's doing today, and the stock is green and everything is going up the other way. And hopefully I'll be able to make some money on the way up. Making money on the way down is tough, but you can preserve capital on the way down. You can still make it if you do it right, but it's a little harder to thread that needle. On the way up is what I'm waiting for, and that's what I've been positioning for you. So these are all the base positions, okay? And so you can see right there, base position cost. Then what I do is I take all of the short position, I call them the top position. And a lot of people think you can't just buy a stock and sell a call and make money because if it goes up, you're losing money and all these other crazy things that they've been programmed to think. But it's actually really easy if you just focus on the time premium, the extrinsic value, the juice is what I call it. And so you can see I sold to open as my first trade, the 400s. They were really deep in the money. You could see they were so deep in the money that I got $104.40 when they were the 400s, right? A lot of that was juice, but you could see at the end of it, I ended up making $71,000, and a lot of that was juice, the time premium that expired, right? And so you could see I sell and then I buy to close. Then I sell and then I buy to close, okay? And so that's what happens in here. I got a couple of short positions in here, but don't worry about it. So the bottom line is these net out. Each trade nets out, and I color code them something different so I can, easily go back and say, all right, this trade lost money, this trade made money, and why, right? So you can see most of these made money, okay? And they're all, most of these are green. And you can look down here all the way down, and this is the position that I have, the 321s, you saw them on the other screen, the 10 calls of MicroStrategy, they expire 328. Well, they're not expired yet, so there's still some value, but the value is higher than the strike today. And so I'm acting as if I have to close the whole account. So if I close the account right now, I'd have to spend $11,359. Well, that's okay because you saw my base position went up, right? Let's go back to that for just a second. You see how the market went up 20 on the stock, the option went up 11, and the base position went up almost 19, right? So net, my account went up today quite a bit because of that. Now, one side went down and one side went up, but net, the delta of those two is that the account went up, okay? So what I do is I take all these short positions, right, where I'm getting the juice, and I net those out, and I say, here's the total profit and loss on the non-base positions, all these positions, okay? And then the third thing is I say, okay, what is the value of those long calls, those synthetics? What are they worth if I had to sell them today? They're worth $156,400. I showed you that on the screen already, right? So then I take all these positions together. I say, all right, what is my base position cost? $286,000. What's it worth now? $156,000, so certainly down about $130,000 on that. But I've made $133,000 on the non-base positions, on the juice. And this has been while the stock has gone down from 477 all the way to down to 210. So look, it's not a lot to write home about, but I'm trying to show you on this trade the whole cycle, because we don't know if the market's going to continue to go up. I mean, most people, if I asked them in December, which I got a lot of people that I know that trade MicroStrategy, if it was going to go up, they'd all said, yes, it's going from 477 to 1,000. In fact, every single one of them thought it was going up. And I did too. And I think MicroStrategy is going to eventually go up. And I want to be in a stock that goes up because I make my maximum amount of profit. But sometimes they go down. And so the cycles of the market are the stocks go up and the stocks go down. There's nothing that happens in a straight line. They don't grow to the sky and they don't go out of business most of the time, right? If you pick the right stock. So we're somewhere in between that. So you have to play the ups and downs. Well, in this particular down cycle, which I got in pretty close to the top, and we've ridden it from 477 all the way down to 210, we're up $2,635, okay? By the end of the week, this juice that I'm getting down here, this 10,590 will mostly be mine. I'll show you on the next math video how that works out. But now the idea is try to stay with the stock and collect the juice as income. I've paid my dues. I've bought the position. I think I've traded it mostly right during this last period of time. And now my goal is to make juice on it as it goes higher. And the juice is going to go higher as well. So we got a stock that started at 477, went down to 210. It's at 320 something today. Okay? So it's bouncing. Great. Now, if I can play this right, I don't have to predict it. All I have to do is focus on the juice. We've created already $133,000 from these short positions, selling covered calls against these. I've created $133,000 in 4 months. That's $40,000 a month, isn't it? Amazing that you can do that, and that prevents you from losing money in a down market. Now, I'm going to be on the upswing. Let's hope we are actually going the other way. And if we're on the upswing, we're going to be able to make, maybe $10,000 a week. At least that's the goal from this point forward. So I hope that helped you to understand how the math plays out. It's not a weekly decision that I make. It's not a monthly, oh, you lost money this month or this. This is a long-term perspective that I collect the income. Like if I bought an Airbnb as an investment, I would buy the thing for $300,000 and I'd rent it out for, $3,000 a month, or, I'd rent it to somebody for $3,000 a month. I'm not worried if the Airbnb is worth $380,000 next month or $250,000 next month. I'm worried about the tenant paying me the $3,000 a month, right? That's what I focus on. That's the juice. That's the income. That's what this program is all about. Hopefully you're understanding it. I think this is my third or fourth math video. I don't like doing these videos because there's a lot of work that goes behind it. But the bottom line is you can see the results if you make it real simple. And in this case, we're up $2,600 on a trade that's gotten cut by 40% at some point. All right, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Hey, it's Mark Yagi, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. That would be a great favor to me, and plus it helps me get this material out to a lot of other people that might need it. I've got a little bit of a movement going on here, and I want to try to change the world one person at a time, showing them that you can make safe, reliable income from the stock market. And plus it helps to grow the channel a little bit. Also, if you would give me a thumbs up on the video and like it, great. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down, that's cool. But just tell me why you don't like it so I can get better. And then hit the notification bell so you can get these videos as soon as they come out, because a lot of times this is timely information and you want to get that information before it gets stale. The last thing is to join my free Insider Tips newsletter. There's a link below and you get everything in one spot. You get breaking news and analysis also. So that would be great if you could do that too. See you soon.